everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Q for You podcast. We are your hosts for today. I'm Mia.
Then there's me, Chantal.
Yay! So, you've just got two of us today, but for this episode of the Q for You podcast, we decided that we were going to watch the K-drama version of a super popular series, to the point where, like, I have to say it's the K-drama version because there's, like, several different versions of this show. It's Boys Over Flowers. Clearly you can tell by the title of the video and the thumbnail, probably. So we're talking about Boys Over Flowers. It's originally a Japanese manga called Hana Yoridango, and it came out in 1991, I believe. The manga did, so, you know, it's pretty old. Like, very old.
Wasn't even born yet, man.
Yeah, we were not born when this came out. Okay, 1992 is when it came out. So yeah, no, we weren't born yet. None of us were born yet. It ran from 1992 to 2008.
That's a long time.
With 37 volumes of the manga. And I've seen the anime series, which came out in 1996. So it's also like a mid-90s anime. It's very 90s. It's extremely 90s. Like, it's so 90s that the opening of the anime is where you'll see the most fluid animation in the entire show. Like, they did really good on the opening, but the actual show is, like, not as fluid. It's one of those series where I wish that, like, they need to reboot it, man. I would watch a reboot of the anime for sure. Like, modernize it a little bit, you know? Give them cell phones.
Yeah.
Give them some cell phones. I'll watch a reboot of the anime. Make the characters a little more pretty. Make them look prettier. Just do what you did with Fruits Basket. Just don't give them these stupid clothes, because they're like, oh my god, sometimes the clothes in the anime, I'm like, why are you wearing this? This is terrible. 90s fashion. It was not good. But, we're talking about the K-drama version, because I think the K-drama version is the best version of Boys Over Flowers. And maybe that's just, like, my personal bias, but I think they do a lot of really good things in the K-drama, better than they do in the original or in the anime. And I've seen a little bit of the J-drama, which just, I mean, it came out before the K-drama, so it's like, it's got that drama feel, but like it has like a soap opera novella kind of feel when you watch it. And like, the K-drama is like, it's goofy, and there's silly dumb stuff in it, and like slapstick and amnesia and all this dumb, cliche drama stuff, but I like it. I think it really fits with the story. Plus, they added stuff in the K-drama that they don't have in the original, which we'll talk about. I've seen Boys Over Flowers, the K-drama. I've watched it twice before this time, so this is my third time watching it, I believe. Or is it the fourth time? I've seen it several times. But this was your first time watching it, right, Chantal?
It was.
And what did you think?
It was interesting.
You have feelings.
I do.
So what are your initial feelings, like, in general? Like, not go into detail or anything, but like, as a first time watcher, what are your general feelings that you have?
It's good. I don't think I'll watch it a second time or like rewatch it. But maybe it's just because my health is like not so great, so I was like, eh. But yeah, I don't think I see myself rewatching it again.
It's very long.
It's long, and then just a lot of the stuff that happens. I'm just like, I'm over this, man. I'm over this.
The anime's longer. The anime's like 50 episodes.
I shouldn't complain though. I'm the one that watched Days of Diamond.
Right. I mean, Fated to Love You was only 20 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to plug our other K-drama episodes so far that we've done. But I feel like Boys Over Flowers, like you don't have to rewatch it. I've just rewatched it several times just because like I like the series in general, like just the disambiguation of Boys Over Flowers. So like I want to watch all the versions, and if I can watch them more than once, I will. Like if I get the chance to, I will, just because I want to see, like I want to compare all of the different versions to each other. And now I have to wait because the Thai version is coming out this year, and I don't know if that's going to be available on like Viki or anything, so I have to wait and see. And if it is, I might watch it.
Nice.
Just to see that. And of course I have to watch Meteor Garden, which is the Chinese version. So yeah, there's a lot of different versions, but it is a very long K-drama, I will admit that. But I think it's like, I feel like if you want to get into K-dramas, like Boys Over Flowers is one of the ones where like you should at least watch it once to like get a feel for like what a K-drama is.
Yeah.
Cause well, Fated to Love You was the first K-drama I ever watched, so I'm very biased in saying like that is probably a better K-drama to watch for you as your first K-drama. But I think like Boys Over Flowers is also a really good starting point if you like shoujo manga and like shows like Ouran High School Host Club or Fruits Basket, like really popular like or Maid Sama too, like really popular shoujo manga. If you like that stuff, you'll probably like Boys Over Flowers. I don't know if you'll like the K-drama version the best out of all of them because there's several versions you can watch, but I enjoy it. It's really goofy.
Maybe it's because I haven't watched like any of the other ones, like specifically like the anime or like.
Oh yeah, that might be why. I like definitely if you watch the anime, you'll like. At least this is what I do. I try not to compare it in my head when I was watching the anime. And I watched the K-drama, but it's like, it's really hard for me not to compare. But a lot of the stuff in, like, the anime, like, they don't go into detail, and I assume so in the manga, too. Like, in the original, manga and anime, like, you just have your your main love triangle. And then, like, the other two guys in F4, like, they don't do anything. They're just, like, there.
Interesting.
So, I like that in the K-drama, they, like, kind of, like, add more to the story. Like, they give other characters, like, their own, like, arc. Like, they're not just there.
Almost all the characters.
Well, almost all of them. Not all of them, but, you know, quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few. So yeah, we can talk about the characters. So I like, they have different names obviously in the manga and anime and the Japanese version than they do in the K-drama version. So we're gonna just use like the Korean names because we watched the K-drama, but like here their equivalents to the Japanese characters like Jandi, like her character's name in the manga and anime in the Japanese version, her name is Sakushi. And then Gujumpyo, his character's name is Tsukasa. And then Jihu's character's name in the Japanese is Rui. And then you have Sojiro and Akira, who are the other two guys that do nothing in the original. And then you have Yuki, which is her like best friend, and she like does nothing in the original as well. They don't have a subplot with those characters like they do in the K-drama. So yeah, so those are like the main characters that I will say, like those are their Japanese names. So if you want to like, if you've read the manga or like watched the anime or anything, like those are their equivalents. So yeah, so basically the story of Boys Over Flowers, at least in the K-drama, is you have your main girl, Kamjandi. She gets offered a scholarship to attend this rich high school called Shinwa High School, because she like saves this dude from basically like jumping off of a roof building at the school because he was bullied by this group called the F4, and they're always called F4 in like all the different versions. So their group name is the same. But they're like the four like basically like kings of the school, basically. And they bully people because they can do whatever they want. And so she kind of like stands up to them, and so she like gets this scholarship because, you know, they don't want their school to have like, you know, a bad name, and she kind of like goes viral, like because of like magazine pictures of her, and like it's on the news and everything. So like, you know, like to thank this girl and to like kind of like make that news go away at the beginning, like she gets to go to this school on a scholarship, and she's a swimmer. That's not in the original. They just added that, I guess, to give her a reason to have a scholarship to go to the school. But she stands up to the F4, and she makes a very big impression on their leader, Gu Junpyo, whose family basically owns the school. And he kind of like tries to bully her too, but then he realizes that he is in love with her, and like basically decides like, I will do anything to protect her. I love her, even though she is like really stubborn, and like at the beginning she doesn't love him, obviously. She thinks he's like a jerk, and she's in love with like his best friend. Instead, she has a crush on him, but then he is also in love with like somebody else, and there's just a bunch of love triangles. And there are two other guys in the group as well, and we'll discuss them later. But yeah, that's basically the story. It's just like a love triangle story, and then they add in some amnesia and terrible, awful mothers that only want their sons to marry rich ladies, and there's almost a wedding and all this other like drama stuff that, you know, you definitely have seen in other K-dramas, or, you know, Asian dramas in general. But it's a good time, you know? There are some parts where it's very enjoyable, and you're just sitting there like, God, you guys are all dumb. I don't know if that's how you felt, Chantal, but
Yeah, it's just frustrating, mostly with the mom.
yeah, she's pretty terrible. I feel like in this version specifically, they really made her like really evil.
She was very evil, man.
Like she's awful. She's so terrible. She tries to like bribe them several times. She influences like the people around Jondi, because she promises at one point, Gu Junpyo like, okay, I won't mess with her anymore. I won't mess with Jondi anymore. So then instead she messes with the people around Jondi, so like she makes her best friend's dad like lose his job. And she makes the landlord kick her parents and her brother like out of their house, like that, like they can't pay the rent anymore. Like they get evicted. So like she's really terrible. But at least they kind of like they tell you like from the beginning like Junpyo doesn't like his mom. He's like, no, she's a witch. He calls her a witch several times. Like, they all don't like her. Oh, and then you have his older sister. And she tries to, like, help out because the mom kind of ruined her life, too. But, yeah, so that's basically, like, the story without going, like, too into detail, having me explain every single episode. But, I mean, what did you think? What were your thoughts? Like, I don't know. I'm curious to know about, like, what you just think in general, like the characters and stuff in the story, just because it was your first time watching it, so, you know, you were like a boys over flowers virgin. I don't know how else to describe it.
I definitely think the side characters needed a little bit more fleshing out. Like it was really weird because I don't really know the name of the other two because like they barely appear anyway.
Yeah.
But one of them does appear more than the other, but the one that appears least, it was really weird because they kind of tried to give him an episode, but it was only for like 5 seconds, and I was like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, I definitely think they were trying to make up for the lack of like those characters having no character development in the original. Because in like the original, especially like when I watched the anime, like those two characters specifically, the other guys in the F4 group, like they're just there to like give commentary on like what's happening. Like they'll like when you watch the anime, they each say like 2 lines and then they just leave most of the time. Like it's hard for me to believe, at least in the original, like in the anime, that like she is friends with any of them because they're like they're never around, and I absolutely cannot fucking I absolutely cannot stand Dewey, who is Jiho's Japanese equivalent in the original. He's so boring. Like I love him in the K-drama because they actually give him like a damn character. Like he has good characteristics and he's like a nice person. But like in the original, like I do not believe that like him and Tsukushi, John Dee's equivalent, are like friends at all. I'm like, why do you have a crush on him? He doesn't do anything. He's so boring. But in the K-drama, like I can totally see why she has a crush on him. Like he's really cute, like he's super nice, plays the violin, like that's cool. And then eventually like he has feelings for her later on. Because his first love, like, leaves and doesn't come back. Whereas in the original, she does come back and they get together.
I felt bad in the K-drama for him because he didn't get anything.
Yeah, I know. But, like, yeah. Well, and because he's not a jerk. Because there's times where, like, stuff happens and Junpyo just, like, immediately is like, no, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. You can't hang out with us. Like, you're dead to me, John-D. Like, I'm gonna make your life miserable. And Jihu is always, like, picking up the pieces. But John-D falls in love with Junpyo instead at the end. But but, like, that fortune teller scene or whatever, when they go to, wherever the hell they go the first time. They go on vacation somewhere to like one of the resorts, and then like John D and Kyle, that's her best friend's name, they go to like this fortune teller, and the lady tells her like, no, you have 2 loves. Like one is like, I see your future husband and your soulmate and they're not the same person. They're 2 different people. So Jihu is her soulmate, but Junpyo's gonna be her husband. Which you can kind of like tell, because it's like, oh yeah, like Jihu will like do it basically, like he would like, you know, die for her basically. I mean Junpyo would too, but he doesn't do it in like the same kind of way that Jihu would. And I like Jihu better. But he messed up because he was in love with what's her name before, when John D had a crush on him, and then she got over it. Like they got over their first loves at the same time, and then he's finally getting feelings for John D, and she's like, nope, I already moved on. But yeah, you feel bad for him because then later you like they have the scene where they go to like the temple, and that one guy tells Jihu like, you know, you gotta take care of that girl. She's gonna give you a family. And you're just kind of like, what does that mean?
But meant the grandpa.
Yeah, but it's not that she's gonna give him like kids or anything. It's no, she's gonna like give him his family back because his grandfather used to be the president of Korea. And he has a really sad backstory. So when when his grandpa was the president of Korea, his parents and him got into a car accident when he was a little kid, and his parents died in the car accident, but he survived. And then, like, his grandfather just kind of, like, left him because, like, they were both kind of, like, he left because he didn't want him to be, like, reminded of it, and he thought, like, you know, he was, like, gonna blame himself, but really him leaving kind of made Jihu blame himself. Like, oh no, it was my fault that my parents got in that car accident. And I took my grandfather's son and daughter-in-law away from him. So, like, he doesn't want to see me because, like, I remind him of them. But that's not the truth. They're just dumb and didn't talk to each other for, like, 15 years. But John Dee gets them back together, so that's the family that they're talking about. But yeah, I mean, that part was nice, you know? That part of the story is very nice. He gets his grandpa, because he's, like, living by himself.
By himself and with health problems.
Yeah. So she, like, forces them to, like, live together again. And then, Jihu wants to become a doctor like his grandfather. And John Dee decides she wants to become, you know, be in the medical field as well, because she likes helping people. And, well, because she can't swim anymore, she gets injured. Because she gets kidnapped, and Junpyo goes to save her, and then she, like, jumps in place of him when they're gonna hit him with, like, this wooden chair, and she gets hit instead, so that, like, messes up her shoulder, so she can't swim anymore. But she doesn't tell him that, so that's why he's like, why aren't you swimming? Like, there's a lot of things that happen where it's like, if you guys just talk to each other, or if you would just listen to your friends, you would know what's going on, and why she's doing the things that she does. Because they're both very stubborn.
Yeah.
But, so, like, what else did you think? I mean, besides that, like, that the other two don't really get too much. I mean, they get more than they do in the original. Like, Yi Jung actually gets a story with Kyle, with the friend. Like, two of the friends, like, get together. And I actually really like their story. I forgot how, like, emotional theirs was till I rewatched it, because then I was paying more attention to theirs, because I'm like, oh, I already know how. I don't want to pay attention to John Dee and Junpyo and Jihu this time. I'm gonna pay more attention to the other stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, like, their relationship, I really like their story. Like, I was telling myself when I was rewatching it, I was like, I could watch a spin-off of, like, these two if they made, like, I don't know, or if like their story was its own, like, drama, I would watch that too. Because at some points, I think their story is more interesting, which I like. I like that they added that to the K-drama version, because, again, in the original, that none of that happens. It just focuses on, like, the main love triangle.
Yeah, but I mean, with most romances, it just focuses on the main one more than the side characters. I think it's more recent that they're starting to focus on the side characters, but it can go either way. Like with Horomiya, nobody likes the development with the side characters, and like, can we just go back to Miyamura and Hori instead?
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see that. In terms of, like, comparing it to, like, Horimiya, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm much more invested in, like, the main character story in that one than I am with the side characters. But I still enjoy the side character stuff in that. Whereas with this one, I feel like this is one of the only versions that, like, adds stuff to the story. Like, the amnesia stuff at the end of this, it's not in the original. Like, I feel like they just added that, and then they added stuff, like, they added this other relationship between, like, two other characters to the K-drama. Just, I feel like just so they could, like, one, add more story and flesh out the characters a little bit more, but also so they can make it 25 episodes. And not your typical, like, 20 episodes, like Fated to Love You. But I like their story a lot. I think it's really interesting. I like that all of, like, at least with them, like, their stuff connects with each other. Like, Kyle, like, starts liking him. He can tell that she likes him, but he's, like, a playboy. So he kind of, like, helps her out a little bit, but then kind of, like, tries to tell her, like, yeah, I'm only doing, like, we're only doing this because, you know, we're helping our friends out, not because I like you or anything. But then she, like, starts to take up, like, pottery because he's a potter and he's, like, a really talented one. And then she, like, takes lessons from this one teacher, and it turns out that her teacher was, like, childhood friends with him. And this teacher lady, like, when they were friends, she was, like, his first love, but then it turns out that she's with his older brother now. And so then he kind of, like, realizes, like, oh no, like, I like Kyle. And then eventually he promises her at the end that when I come back from Sweden in, like, 5 years, you will be the first one that I look for. And then it is, and that's how their relationship goes. And it's cute, like that ends all pretty, you know, pretty wholesomely. Even though she gives him way too many chances sometimes, I feel like. I'm like, girl, you gave him too many chances. Like, you helped him out, like, one too many times.
Like, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, on his side, he was just kind of damaged because of, like, what he saw between his parents.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is probably, like, what he's, you know, the way that he is, and he's just like, I don't want this. If it's gonna end up like that, then why bother?
Yeah. Well, and then he once he realizes, like, oh, my first, like, she's with my brother. Because his brother's older than him. He was supposed to be, like, the next head of the family, but he, like, Yi Jung is, like, more skilled and talented at a potter, so then they, like, made him the future head of the family instead. Like, they passed over his brother. So it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a little bit of karma, you know?
Yeah.
But I like Kyle. She's really cute. She's a good best friend, man. She really cares about Janti. I like that they always included her and stuff. Like, I'm like, yo, I want to be friends with John D. I get to go on free trips wherever the hell they're going out of the country. That sounds fun. I don't have to pay for anything.
That's how he would say, rich people, man.
Yeah, damn rich people. So what other thoughts do you have?
The amnesia thing, they could have done it without, like, adding another freaking,
yeah.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah.
That was so stupid. I'm just, because I was literally sitting there watching, like, the whole thing happening. I'm like, my dudes, y'all could have done it without this girl, but okay.
Yeah.
Go up, I guess.
I guess they wanted to add a little bit more drama, but I don't know. Yeah, the whole, like, amnesia stuff at the very end. Again, they added that to the story. Like, that's not in the original. So, like, yeah, it's a K-drama. I wouldn't be surprised if there... I would be surprised, I mean, if there wasn't amnesia, an amnesia plot in there. Because, I mean, we saw that in Fated to Love You. Like, they put an amnesia part in there, which is when it's like, you really didn't have to do that, but okay. But yeah, I don't like that they had to add this, like, other character in there, because they add this new character. I don't remember her name. I really don't care what her name is. But she's like, she looks way younger than them. Like, she does not look like she's even like a third year in high school, because at this point, like, they're in like college. At least the boys are in college. Like, Jundi's still like a third year in high school, but like, this girl looks like she's in her like her third year of middle school, which, like, okay, I don't know. She just looks really young. But basically, like, Junpyo gets amnesia because he gets hit by a car, so he's in the hospital, and it's like the last 2 episodes, like the very last couple of episodes that this happens, and he doesn't remember. He remembers everybody else, but he doesn't remember Jandi. So they're like trying to like get him to remember her, but this other girl, like, you know, takes the opportunity, apparently, because the stupid people at the hospital say like, oh, they're like the cute hospital couple, because they're always hanging out, and she basically takes it upon herself to be like, oh no, I'm the one that you forgot. I'm your girlfriend.
She took credit for everything that Jandi was doing.
Yeah, like, Jandi made him a bento, like a lunchbox, and this girl takes credit for it, and then he asks her to make it again, and she makes him like a lunchbox, and he's like, doesn't taste the same. And this girl has the like audacity to be like, oh, you know, sometimes it tastes different, you know?
And then she starts getting mad. She's like, oh, but it's also your friend's fault. And I'm like, what did that have to do with anything? Okay.
Yeah, she talks about, because at that point, like, of course, like, Jihu, I give him kudos, man, because eventually he kind of realizes, like, well, I can't, Jandi doesn't love me anymore. She, like, I'm just her, she's just my friend, even though, like, I love her back now. But, you know, he's basically there to be like, I don't want to say the rebound, but like, that's basically what he like is okay with being, I guess. Like, if Junpyo can't be there for her, then I will be there for her. Like, I'll do everything for her that I can. Because even Junpyo tells him, like, if Jandi has to go with anybody, then I want it to be you. Even though he, like, doesn't want to admit it. And then he gets amnesia, so it's like... but like, yeah, but like, Jihu does his best to, like, you know, try to help him remember, like, no, Jandi is your girlfriend, like, you love her, you don't love this random hoe. And eventually he does remember, because she falls in the pool on purpose, and he, you know, dives in to save her, even though he forgot that he learned how to swim, because he had like a swimming phobia at the beginning, because he was kidnapped as a kid one time, and they threw him, like, in a pool, or he fell in a pool, and he, like, almost drowned. So he basically kind of, like, teaches himself to swim so he can, like, get over that fear, because when they go to, like, on vacation for the first time with everybody, like, Jandi gets, like, a cramp in her leg, and she can't swim back, even though she's, like, you know, not too far out, and so he can't go get her, because, you know, he can't swim. So Jihu saves her, and so he's also kind of like trying to stick it to him, like, no, I'm going to learn how to swim so I can get over this phobia and stuff. And Jihu does the same thing with driving, because the car accident, like, you know, messed with him too. But like, yeah, and then as soon as he remembers Jandi, this girl just leaves. This other girl just leaves. Like, I wish they had, like, I don't know, like, they made her say something, or Junpyo yells at her, something, I don't know, because this girl is, like, yeah, that's one of the parts of the K-drama where I'm like, why did you put this girl in here? Like, she's not important. You could take her out of the amnesia storyline and it would still make sense. But you guys are the ones that wanted to add amnesia to this, so... But I mean, you know, I still enjoy most of it. Yeah, I think the amnesia part is probably my least favorite part, at least at the end. And I think the other part that I don't like too much is how they handle Dick Young.
The fiance?
Yeah. Cause she's so annoying. Like, so annoying.
I actually really liked her.
You liked her.
I did. But then again, I love my chaotic people.
Yeah, no, that's fair. She's a very chaotic character. I mean, she means well, she's not really trying to hurt anybody. She becomes friends with John D before, they get announced that, like, she's engaged to Junpyo. But I don't know. Some of the parts, until she apologizes, my thing is just like, okay, you, like, stop. Like, clearly he doesn't like you back. Clearly John D is who he's talking about, and clearly John D is uncomfortable, like, whenever you talk about him. But you still bring it up. I don't know, that character, from what I remember in, like, the original, she's not as, like, in your face about it, I guess. Like, she's still pretty chaotic, but, like, I think she realizes earlier in the original that, like, oh no, they're in love with each other. So then she, like, tries to help them. Like, she doesn't decide, like, well, I like him too, so I'm going to, try to make him fall in love with me anyway.
Sometimes that's how it be.
But sometimes that is how it be. I don't know. I just like rewatching it. I'm just like, ugh. I remember what I didn't like about this series. She's just annoying. I don't know. She's too annoying for me. I mean, to be fair, in the original, they also kind of, like, break it off, like, the day of the wedding. But the original, I believe that's where it ends. Where they go off and they go on the, like, they go be with each other, Tsukushi and Tsukasa. Like, they get on the boat, because they're gonna go on, like, they get on the boat like they do in the K-drama. But then they just leave, and the mom's just kind of like, okay, well, I can't stop them, like, they're on the boat, like, I can't do anything.
That's kind of funny, though, I think about it.
And
it's like, god damn it, water.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about it.
Well, and I think at that point in the original too, like, she kind of, like, realizes, like, okay, well, they're not gonna stop. Like, he loves this girl, so I can't really, what else can I do? But the K-drama, like, they just add layer upon layer, and then they show you that, like, the dad's not really dead, because they say that Junpyo's dad dies in, like, the middle of the series. And they have a funeral and everything, but it turns out that was a big fat lie.
It's like, damn, man.
And the mom's been, like, keeping him basically a vegetable. And doesn't tell Junpyo or his sister, so they think that he's dead, and then they finally, like, the secretary basically tells John D, like, can you talk to my friend here, my friend who's in the hospital, like, I think he would enjoy it if you, came to visit him and stuff. And she doesn't know who this person is, because he doesn't tell her. But it's like, oh, that's so obviously the dad. And then eventually the sister finds out that the dad's still alive, and then Junpyo finds out, and the mom is just like, well, if something like this happened, I just did what your father said he wanted to do, was try to, make you the head of everything. I'm just doing what he said, and that doesn't include John D. Like, she has, like, such a vendetta against her. And even, like, the, like, F4 group, like, she really doesn't like anybody. But
she really doesn't.
But yeah, but then you kind of see, like, oh, well, she, like, she keeps saying, like, yeah, I'm your mother and stuff, but even Junpyo tells her, like, you're not my mother. I'm not gonna call you mother. Like, you're not worthy of me to call you that, because you didn't raise me. You didn't even done anything for me that a mother would do.
It's kind of nuts, man.
But she does it too, because she did it to the sister and it worked. Because the sister had a boyfriend when she was younger that she wanted to be with because she loved him, and the mom just kind of like ruined that relationship, like how she did with Jandi and Junpyo, and now the sister's married to some other guy, some rich guy, some guy who owns hotels or something. And so that's why she's very like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen to Junpyo because you already ruined my life. Like, you can't ruin anybody else's. And she becomes friends with Jandi, so it's like... But, I mean, you know, it gives you a good, kind of, like, exciting kind of, like, part of the story to follow. And I like Jundi's family. I think they're pretty silly. Her parents are very animated. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, her family is very odd.
Yeah.
The mom is very extra. I'm just like, lady, can you, like, chill up for, like, 2 seconds, please?
Yeah, her mom's super extra. And the dad has, like, a gambling problem. And her brother's just a kid. But they're like that in the original, too. Except they don't run a dry cleaners. They just have, like, regular jobs.
Mm.
Or the mom's, like, a stay-at-home mom or something. I can't remember. But, like, in the original...
rich people.
Yeah, but, like, in the original, I know that, like, they all go on vacation together at one point. Like, when they have the dance and stuff, like, her parents and her brother, like, they're on vacation with them, too. Like, they're the ones that are, like, go to the party. Like, they go on a summer vacation, like, together as a family.
Yeah.
That's where the most dramatic kiss ever happens. But I like her family. Like, they're pretty silly. I like when she first goes to the school and the dad, like, takes her in the, like, dry cleaning van. And he pretends to be, like, a chauffeur like all the other kids have. And she's kind of like,
yeah.
Oh, God. And they do, I mean, like, and then all the bullying stuff that happened, I'm like, damn, like, I didn't know any bullies that went to these lengths to, like, throw eggs at other people and set their bike on fire.
Yeah, the bullying part was, like, brutal, man. I didn't like it. It's kind of hard to watch sometimes. Because they went too far.
Yeah.
It's like, goddamn, like, no wonder people are trying to jump off roofs and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they do some really bad stuff. Like, she gets beat up a lot. Like, not by the F4, but, like, by the rest of the school. Like, the other kids in the school. Like, once somebody gets a red card from the F4, that's, like, the signal that, like, okay, everybody can just, like, bully the crap out of them. So, like, they set her bike on fire, like, she gets a bunch of skinned knees. They almost, like, assault her, which was, like, I forgot that scene was in there. I forgot that scene was in here. But Ji-hoo came and saved her.
Thank God.
And then, like, at one point they, like, put trash in the pool, so just to clean it up. And then this also happens in the original with the guy who's, like, a model. So there's this guy who's, like, a model. He becomes interested in her and, like, gets her to model with him and stuff. And he's, like, a famous model. He's, like, all super hot. And then it turns out that at least in this version, in the K-drama, his brother is the guy that she, like, saves at the beginning. Like, that's his older brother.
Yeah.
But in the original, in the manga, like, you don't see the brother, but that's still the reason why he tries to get revenge on them. but it's because, like, they punched him so hard in the stomach that, like, he got, like, you know, internal injuries and, like, wasn't able to go back to school. Because in the original, they also participate in, like, beating people up.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's, like, really brutal, and you're like, oh my god. But yeah, the part with the modeling, that part's interesting. That's when she gets kidnapped and gets her shoulder hurt. You know what? Did we get questions? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I just thought about that right now. Let me check. Nope. It's all good. Okay, I just wanted to check. Anyways. So, who was your favorite character? Like, who did you like the most out of all of them?
I like Jiho.
Same. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
When he cuts his hair, though, I'm like, why did you cut your hair, bro? It looks better long.
I was like, I kind of miss the long hair, but I also kind of like the short hair.
Mm-hmm. No, I like the short hair, too, but I miss the long hair. I hate, like, that always happens to me. Like, if a character I like, they have long hair, if they cut it at some point, I'm like, why did you do that? That was one of the reasons why I liked you. But it's okay. He still looks good.
But sometimes cutting the hair is just a symbolism for them changing.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like, why? I liked it when it was long.
I still think him and Jandi should have been together then. Jumpyo.
What? Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, I still think that him and Jandi should have been together.
Mm-hmm. No, me too. Even after watching it, like, for a third time, or fourth time, I still think she should go with Jihu at the end. Which I completely do not think should happen in the original. Because, like I said, his Japanese, like, original counterpart is, like, so boring. And he kind of sucks.
It's because Jumpyo is kind of mean, and then he bullied her. Meanwhile, Jiho has been, like, saving her butt. Always there for her. Knows everything, what's happening.
Yeah, like, he understands her.
He knows when something is wrong with her. And she's hiding it.
That's why he's her soulmate.
It's like, damn it. He deserves better.
Well, well, okay, he doesn't play the same kind of character in this other series, but after I watched Boys Over Flowers the first time, I watched another series with the same actor who plays Jihu in it, and he's also, like, the main character in this other one called Playful Kiss. And in that one, he does get with the main girl, because he's the main guy. And that one's cute. They get married at the end of that one. Or not, like, at the end, like, towards the end they get married. Because then you see them, like, be married and go to college together. But if you want to see a series where that actor gets to be with the main girl, you can watch Playful Kiss. I think it's shorter than Boys Over Flowers. I can't remember. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, though. But that one's a good one. That's a good K-drama. But yeah, no, I think that she should have gone with Jihu at the end. Just do a big M. Night Shyamalan twist. Sorry, Jumpyo, I can't accept your proposal because I've already accepted Jihu's proposal.
And then, like, I mean, in the beginning she liked him, and then he was kind of, like, somewhat falling in love with her. Then again, he was just, like, emotional because he was just got dumped.
Yeah.
But, like, Jumpyo knew she had feelings for him, so I don't know why he kept trying to push hard, but I mean, I get it.
because I guess because at that point he realized that he like was in love with her, and you know, he believes there's nothing that money can't buy. But then he realizes, at least he realizes that he can't get her with monetary things. That like she doesn't care about that. Like, I do like that she kind of tries to, like, drill that into his head. Like, if you love me, then you have to stop doing all of this. Like, if you love me and you want me to be with you, you can't just, like, take me out and do all of these things and, like, pay for all this stuff. Like, that's not what I want. Like, she just wants to live a normal-ass life. Which is why I forgot till I watched it again, that at one point, because her parents like lose their jobs, so they have to like move to a different town for like a jobs, to like do fishing jobs on like the coast. So she and her brother live in an apartment together, and he moves into the apartment next to them.
Idiot.
Just so he can be close to her and like, you know, be out of his mother's shadow. But then that doesn't work anyway, because then the mom finds out.
Of course the mom's gonna find out, man.
And then literally the day after they redecorate their entire apartment, they spent the whole day redecorating it, like painting everything, putting new wallpaper up and stuff, make it look nice, because it's like a crappy, you know, little apartment. They demolished the damn building the next day. And the demolishing guy is just like, oh, you guys need to get all your stuff out of here, like, now, because we're tearing down this building.
That was so messed up, man.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
Like, the mom is just... I don't know, man. She was really trying to put her out homeless, and even then, she still went after her friend and Jiko.
Mm-hmm.
Messed up, man. Messed up.
But I like in the K-drama, you can tell that, like, that Jandi is friends with all of them. You know what I mean? Like, they all have connections with her. You don't see it, like, happen in every episode, but, like, I can tell that, like, off camera, like, oh, like, they understand her, like, they're friends with her. Like, they wouldn't be helping to get these two idiots together if they didn't care about both of them. Whereas in the original, I do not get that feeling. I barely think that, like, the two main characters like each other in the original. Because you rarely see, like, the other characters. Like, they show up for 2 seconds and then they leave. But here, like, they're always there, like, even the other two, even Yi-jung and Woo-bin, like, they're there to help Jandi and save her when she's in Macau by herself and almost gets all her stuff stolen. Like, they come in and save her, and then they try to get Junpyo to see her, and he's like, nah. And they get angry on her behalf. Did you notice that they went to the same hotel in Macau that they did in Fated to Love You?
Did they?
Yeah, it's the Venetian Hotel. Where it looks like Italy on the inside.
Oh, okay, now okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
it's the same hotel. They went there and Fated to Love You. Like, I remember watching Boys Over Flowers after Fated to Love You and being like, they went to the same place. I guess they must film here a lot.
I guess so.
But I liked when they, like, played hide and seek in the hotel, because they can. Like, I think that's cute. I like that part of this version. Like, I like that I can tell as a viewer that, like, they all care about each other. That they're all friends. Because
Yeah.
sometimes with these big like ensemble like casts of like these kinds of shows, even like in like manga and stuff, sometimes you can't. Sometimes I don't get that same feeling that I do with other series. Like I like that I can tell that like, oh, they hang out with each other on a regular basis and they understand each other. And I like the music in Boys Over Flowers. It's, you know, it's those K-dramas, man. They know how to add some fun music and songs to like the soundtrack. I think it's a pretty good one. I mean, maybe the songs are kind of dated, you know, but I enjoy them. I didn't get as emotional when the songs would come up in Boys Over Flowers like I did with Fated to Love You. But, like, you know, I didn't mind the songs and the music. At least the instrumentals kind of, like, they give off, like, that Ouran High School Host Club kind of, like, instrumental feelings with the soundtrack. So, like, I like it. A lot of strings. Like a running theme. I love the opening for the K-drama. I love that it's like a Korean version of that song, Almost Paradise. I think that's hilarious. I think it's great. Because it's like really cheesy, and I like that. I mean, not because, you know, it's not a perfect K-drama. I think Fated to Love You is a better drama. And I think there's a couple others that I would say are better than Boys Over Flowers, but I still think it's a fun time. Again, I feel like if you don't, like, you know, if you've seen it once, you don't have to watch it again. But if you're interested in like the entire like big like disambiguation of Boys Over Flowers, then, you know, the K-drama is a pretty good place to start if you want to watch all of the versions. But I don't know, what do you think, Chantal?
I mean, I can't add too much because I've never seen the original, and the only other K-drama I've seen is Fated to Love You. So I can't really add on too much, but yeah. I definitely think I prefer Fated to Love You over Boys Over Flowers.
Yeah. I definitely prefer it as well. Like, I can watch Fated to Love You 10 more times and still cry. Every time. Whereas Boys Over Flowers, I don't think I ever cried watching it. It didn't emotionally, like, affect me like Fated to Love You did.
I guess it's because it's more focused on, like, high school.
Yeah.
Kind of love.
That might be
it. And then Fated to Love You is, like, more adult with, like, real adult issues.
Probably. It's probably why. I mean, not to say that I don't get emotional when it comes to, like, high school romances, because I do. I mean, like, you know, I love Fruits Basket. I love Ouran High School Host Club. I'm loving Horimiya so far as well. That's also like a high school drama. You know, the characters are in high school. But I don't know, I feel like it just depends. I mean, also, the source material for Boys Over Flowers, it came out in the 90s, like early 90s. It was before we were born. Like, it's a different kind of, like...
Times have changed.
Yeah, it came out in a different world, basically. A different time period, world. Like, you know, I feel like people's experiences aren't usually the same as decades past. So, I mean, I'm just surprised that, like, they made the K-drama in, like, you know, what is it, 2009? When this came out. But it's definitely, I definitely think that the K-drama is one of the more popular versions. Because people all, like, I know, like, just from reading, like, you know, researching and stuff, like people, not in just Korea, but, like, all over, like, Asia, like, they watched the K-drama, they knew the names of all the actors, like, people were, like, obsessed with this. Like, they were popular not just in Korea, but, like, China, Japan, the Philippines, Singapore. Yeah, it says right here. International popular extent to Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, India, Nepal, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, Zambia, and among others. The cast members held various sold-out events across Asia, such as concerts and fan meetings. So like it's one of the more popular versions other than the original. But I definitely think if you want to get into Boys Over Flowers and you want to watch all of the versions, I say the K-drama is a good place to start. It's also just a good place to start if you want to start watching K-dramas. I feel like it's like your K-drama bread and butter. Like I said before, it has all of the things that you're gonna find in a lot of K-dramas: amnesia plots, love triangles, very dramatic moments, pop songs, cutesy, silly stuff. So it's definitely, you can definitely tell why it's popular. So which character, like, besides the mother, like, because I'm sure that's your least favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who else did you, like, were just like, eh?
I don't think I felt that way about anybody else, really.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to like everybody equally.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
just wish they gave that one dude more like screen time.
Yeah.
Cause he was cute, and I was kind of interested, and I was
Oh.
kind of curious to see if they were gonna like give him something, cause you know they gave the other one something. So I was like, maybe we still got a few episodes. Nah.
Yeah, Woo-bin, he gets kind of like the short end of the stick. You just kind of learn like, oh, he's good at being a businessman, and he has ties to like the mafia somehow. So that's how he can help out, and he's the one that says stuff in English all the time, randomly. That's what he's there for. That's what he's there for.
Which is, I thought it was kind of funny because Genti's like, oh, like she's like listing off like why, like they're important to like her life or whatever. I'm like, but he didn't do anything. He just gave you coffee and listened to your problems, but that's it.
He kind of helped save you that one time.
Right. She was listing like something else, and I was just like, when did that happen?
It happened off screen. They didn't shoot that part. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like, yeah, if you're like if you're going to, you know, flesh out one of the other characters in the F4, you need to flesh out all of them to an extent, because then they just turn into like the characters that like they're just there. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're all cute. They're all good looking. It's so funny that, like, I love that, like, they just keep it in all the versions that, like, the, you know, main boy in the F4, like, he has just, like, naturally curly hair like that. And they just, like, you know, make the main girl always, like, make fun of him for it. Like, I love that he straightened his hair and wore the school uniform because she got mad. That, like, why does your hair look like that? And also, I don't like that you guys don't wear the school uniform. Like, you should be dressing like everybody else. Like, you shouldn't be getting special treatment.
Mm-hmm.
But that happens in the original, too. Where I show you the dramatic kiss part. Like, he has his hair straightened and it looks really stupid, but it's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I like Jake Young, the fiance, like, she's fine. I just think sometimes she's a little too strong-willed in terms of, like, you are pushing very hard to the point where it's getting annoying.
I thought she was pushing just as hard as Junpyo was.
You think so?
Yeah, just because I was like, this is like how like the family was saying, this is giving me deja vu. I was like, this is happening all over again. She's literally just a girl version of Junpyo, except she's not a bully.
Yeah. Yeah, like, at least she's, like, nice about it, you know, she tries to make Jundi feel included, and Kyle, too. Like, she bought them, like, really expensive purses.
I know. And I like how they're like, you know, it's kind of hard not to hate her. She's pretty cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
like, they still, that, admit, even Jundi is like, well, you know, she's kind of, like, stealing my man, but she's really cool and really nice, I can't hate her. And even then, like, the scene where she apologizes to her and she's like, I'm sorry that, like, I've hurt you. And, like, I knew I was hurting you, but I just ignored it. Like, that scene I like. It's very sincere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but my thing is, like, damn, dude, did you really have to ask John D to be your freaking maid of honor? To, like, watch you, like, have you stand right behind her and watch you marry, the guy that she loves. Like, damn, that's pretty cold. But again, she does say, like, I don't have any friends. So it's kind of like, okay, well.
Not much you can do either.
What did you think of her friend at the beginning who, like, betrays her?
I was like, gosh, she seems so nice. And then little did I know, man.
Yeah.
That was messed up.
Like, she seems really nice. You're like, oh, she made a really good friend. She's very sweet. Nope.
Jandy basically went out of her way to, like, protect her and everything from Junpyo, and that's how she gets repaid.
Yeah, but it was like, nope. And then you find out it's because Junpyo called her ugly when they were, like, little kids. And she wasn't ugly, she was pretty cute. I like when they show them. I love when they show them as little kids because you can tell who's who. Because he still has this.
I thought that was so ridiculous because they try to make him like with the same hairstyles and everything. I'm like, there's no way the kids are gonna look like that. But okay.
They're just like wearing mini versions of the clothes they already wear. He's this little kid.
It's like so ridiculous, man. I was like, why is this necessary? Like, I think we know who's who, but
I can tell.
Let's make it more extra.
I can tell it's Junpyo because he has the ridiculously curly hair.
So funny, man.
It's so funny, but it's so like they're really cute little kids. Although damn, when they showed like the grandpa leaving at the funeral and Jiwoo and he's literally like falls and he's like legit crying, I was like, damn, that's like really sad. Why did you show that to me? I don't want to see this cute kid crying. Jesus. But it's I mean, there's good parts, but yeah, no, that part, I think in the original, that character, you know, the girl that betrays her, like, she doesn't leave. She still is, like, there at the school, like, trying to get with him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so she, like, shows up later on throughout, and then, like, also in the original, Tsukushi, or John Dee's character, Japanese character, equivalent, she has, like, this other friend who's a guy who, like, his family became rich. So he's always, like, tagging along, but he's kind of like a nerd.
Interesting.
But they didn't put that character in the K-drama. I guess that would be one too many characters. But that character's really annoying anyway, so it doesn't really matter. One less annoying character. Because he doesn't... Yeah, because he doesn't have a crush on her or anything. He's just like an old, like, childhood friend of hers that he just starts to go to their school because his family becomes rich so they can, like, pay for him to go to that school. But also in the original, like, she just already goes to the school. Like, she's not there on a scholarship, like... Or, like, she doesn't get a scholarship to go there. Like, she's already a student there. But, like, some of the similarities, I mean, like, when John D wears the Wonder Woman costume, it's like the costume party. Yeah, these, like, three hoes, like, lie to her and stuff. Like, these mean girls. The girl was always like, oh my god. I'm like, please stop. And the K drama, like they tell her like, oh, it's a costume party, so then she dresses up as like Wonder Woman. In the original, they tell her it's not a costume party, but they're just like, it's a party, just dressed in like party clothes. So like she gets dressed in like kind of more of like a not like a fancy party outfit. It's more like a I'm going clubbing outfit kind of party. So like all these people are in like like floor length dresses and stuff, or like they're very like proper kind of things, and she's wearing like short skirt and like like high heels, and she's kind of like a really dramatic makeup look. So then they're all like, wow, who is this harlot? You look like a streetwalker. Basically. But yeah, those are some of the changes that they do between at least the like manga or anime version and the K-drama. And of course it ends when they go on the boat. They don't have the amnesia stuff. Like, yeah, and then and the one thing that I don't like about the K-drama is like the mom. I mean, she doesn't get like a comeuppance in the original either, but like then they just show her taking care of the dad because he's awake now and he's alive again. So she kind of like she stepped down from her weird. She stepped down from her position as like the president. Now the sister's the president, and Junpyo is like in charge of the whole thing also now. And it's just like, okay, so like did the mom stop? I guess we can assume so.
I kind of wish they gave us more closure with the mom.
Yeah, like a scene where John D and the mom kind of like come to some kind of understanding. Because John D, like when he at least they showed us her still trying to like be nice to the mom and give her a chance. And they kind of show that the mom understands better like why Junpyo or like why Junpyo loves John D, because like she actually knows things about him. Because when he's in the hospital, like, the mom, gets upset, and the sister, like, tells her, like, do you even know, like, who your son is? Do you know what his favorite food is? Do you know his favorite color? Do you know the things that he likes to do? Like, you don't know any of that stuff. You're barely an acquaintance to him, let alone his mother. And then John D goes to talk to her, and she tells her all the answers to those questions. Like, this is his favorite food, he likes this. He does this, his favorite color is this, or whatever. Like, she like actually knows him. And then the mom is like, don't talk to me. But you can kind of tell that like she kind of like got to her. Because then you never see her again. Till the very end when it shows that she's like taking care of the dad.
Yeah. This is really odd, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like her happily feeding the dad, and I'm just like, okay, when did this happen, and when did dad wake up?
I don't know. I mean, I guess because they kind of hinted that like he was waking up when John D was there. Like she has like an effect on people, She would like read him stories or talk to him and stuff, and like his fingers are moving. So it's like, I guess they kind of want to imply that like she's one of the reasons why the dad woke up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, the mom needs to, back off, because it's like, well, she was here visiting all the time. And he woke up, so it'd be kind of like a real dick move if she's
it's
like...
It's kind of like she told everybody that he was dead. It's kind of like, how do you explain that your husband's back from the dead? Like, that's awkward.
Yeah, maybe they live on in make him live on in secret or something. I don't know. But we don't even see a funeral. Like they say they just went to a funeral. Like they don't show them actually going to it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, so there was a funeral. We're told there's a funeral, but we didn't see like an actual funeral or like a burial ceremony, or like we didn't see the little
we have that little time
like,
skip.
yeah, we didn't like we don't see any like urns or anything like cremated, anything like that. Like in Fated to Love You, when he would go to the like family mausoleum or whatever, and you see that there's like the urns. Like you don't see it. The only funeral or graves you see are for Jiwoo's parents.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I'll believe that he's dead when you show me. And then they show he's alive, so. So what would you give this, like, out of a 1 through 10 scale?
I'd give it an 8.
An 8? I think that's a good score. Where does it like, what would you give Fated to Love You?
10 out of 10 would watch
10
again.
out of 10 watch again. Okay, well that's good. Now compare it to like, well, I guess we can't really compare it to anything else, just another K-drama we've seen.
Yeah. I'm still a baby when it comes to K-dramas.
Okay, well, out of shoujo titles that take place in high school, where would this rank? Between what show and what series and what other series?
Oh, jeez. I mean, if it's in terms of shoujo, like a lot of the earlier works, like let's say I Say I Love You, is probably similar, it's just not as dramatic. So maybe like a 7?
A 7?
7.5 at least?
Okay. On a tier scale from like grade A through F, where would you put it?
Oh man. I think like a B?
Or S. S tier is the highest tier.
Okay,
F's
then maybe like an A or a B, something
A or
like
B.
that.
Okay, B plus?
Yes.
B plus, okay. Yeah, I agree. I think there's better K-dramas out there. Now, if this was 2009 and we were watching this, I would say it's probably like 10 out of 10 would watch again 5,000 times. But knowing that there's several other versions that you can watch, like Meteor Garden is the most recent one. The Thai one is going to be the most recent one, but it hasn't come out yet, so like I'm not counting that one. Obviously, it hasn't come out yet. But Meteor Garden is the most recent one. So that one I do want to watch so I can see if they improve upon anything, because that is like from like 2018. Whereas the K-drama's from 2009. You know, times were different. At least they gave them cell phones in this version. At least we had cell phones. Because that's another thing, like that, when they modernize this kind of stuff and they, you know, put in technology and stuff, I kind of like that when they do that. That's why I think they should just do a reboot. Like an anime reboot. I think that'll be fun. But also, I just remembered, it's different in the anime or in the manga, the original. They don't get stuck in like a, you know how they get stuck in the K-drama in the little flying thingy, whatever, I don't know what it's called. That thing that lets you look over the city or whatever. Like, they get stuck in that thing in the K-drama, but in the original, it's an elevator. And it's an elevator in a building that's supposed to be getting demolished. So they could have died.
Yep, they really could have. That was messed up, man. It's like they just got a home, man.
But yeah, in the original, instead of when they go on their first date, you know, and he's waiting forever for her, yeah, they get stuck in an elevator in the original. So they have to spend the night in an elevator. But she, like, packs a lunch for them or something, so, like, they have something to eat, but, yeah. And then they open the elevator the next day, and you're like, what are you kids doing in here? Because they're supposed
we
to...
were stuck!
Yeah, because they're supposed to go to some, like, place, like, some restaurant or some store or something that's in that building, but then when they get in the elevator, like, it stops working, and then they find out, like, oh no, this, like, That place isn't in this building anymore. It's gonna get demolished. But I like that in the K-drama they tie back to it, where like they you know, that he writes our first night on the little seat and it's still there every time they go back. Like, I think that's cute. Like, that part's cute. Like, you know, when they're actually having, like, time together, like, just the two of them, like, Junpyo and Jeondae, like, I believe it. Like, you know, like, it's a cute relationship. But the parts between Jihoo and Jeondae are, like, a little more cute. They're more
They just
sweet.
feel more intimate.
Yes.
It's also because they understand each other, so there's, like... I don't know, like, they can't hide anything from one another.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels more, natural is the best way that I can describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess because the reason why I didn't like Junpyo with her is also because, like, he kind of forced his way in. My dude came in like a bulldozer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So it's kind of like when you compare it like that way, it's kind of like, well, I like the natural one better.
Yeah. Yeah, because I totally agree. I like that, you know, she kind of, like, gets over Jihoo, but then he kind of, like, realizes, oh no, she's, like, amazing. Like, she really did help me. Like, she did all of these things. Not just because she liked me, but because, you know, she wanted to help me. And he, like, starts to see all of the good, like, qualities about her, and then that, like, kind of, like, makes him fall in love with her. Too. But then it's just, yeah, then you just kind of feel bad at the end. You're like, damn, bro, I'm so sorry.
I know.
You go to the same medical school and everything. You guys are with each other
Grandpa
all the time.
gave him the rings to give to.
Yeah.
He deserved better.
Dude, the scene where the grandpa gives him the rings, or the ring, and he's like crying, bruh. Okay, I did cry at that part. I was like, I did not expect this to make me cry, but it did make me cry.
Dude, me and Isabella, when he started crying, we were like, no. Safe to say that Isabella really liked Junpyo and his shenanigans.
Oh, man.
She would replay, like, because she would watch on her iPad too. Fun fact, my child also likes Summer Flowers. She willingly watched it herself on her iPad, by the way, y'all. And she would always replay, like, the scenes where they're, like, always fighting with each other.
She really likes confrontational scenes. I'll give it to her.
She does.
I mean, sometimes they're pretty fun. I like that the competition part, too, in the K-drama, like, they do different challenges, like, different things against each other. Because in the original, they just play basketball against each other. And it's a team of Nui, who is Jihoo's equivalent, Sakushi, and then the dude that I told you about that's, like, her friend that became rich and goes to the school. Like, it's them, and this dude is a nerd. And Sakushi sucks at basketball. And they lose. Like, that's the challenge they have to do so they don't get expelled. But in this one, they do different challenges, and it ties in with, like, their phobias. Because they ride the horses. Oh my god, the stuff with the horse, man. He made it, Junpyo made it so that horse will never race again.
Like, damn.
But they did a horse race. They had to do they had to race cars, even though, you know, Jihoo has a phobia of driving.
My poor dude, man.
And then they had to do a swimming competition, even though Junpyo didn't know how to swim at that point.
He didn't know how to swim and he didn't even participate. He just had his friends do it.
Nope, he made Yijung and Woobin to swim for him instead.
Like, where was this fairness for Jihoo, man?
But then they turn the lights off and he's walking away like, yeah, whatever, at this point I don't care. They can stay, I guess.
It wouldn't be a K-drama without all this drama, man.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad Isabella liked it. I'm glad she replayed her favorite scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they're all cute, so you know, I get it.
Right.
It's a fun time. I feel like if you have the time to watch it, watch it. You don't have to watch it a second time, but you know, it's definitely a K-drama I feel like everybody needs to watch. At least once to like get into K-drama mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is one of the most popular ones that like people have seen. So, you know, if you want to talk about K-dramas and compare them to each other, you have to watch Boys Over Flowers. So, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. I don't know about you.
Me neither. I think I've said everything.
Alrighty. Well, do you have any ideas of what we should do for our next episode?
I want to do free, man.
You want to do free? Just the first season or all three?
I think all three.
All
Why
three.
not?
Oh my god.
Just so we can compare the growth.
But my question to you, should we watch it dubbed or subbed?
We are never watching this dubbed.
Why not? It would be so funny. I'm just kidding. No, you want to talk about it seriously.
Yes. Because I love the series, man. It's the series that brought me into seasonal anime. And that really, like, booted up my channel.
Well, I think that's a good idea. I think it's a great idea. We should do free. Because I need to finish season 3 of Free. I haven't finished it. I watched the first 2 seasons, but not the third one.
The third one is so good. Probably my favorite season.
The third one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we'll dive into all of that. And freestyle our way through it in the next episode. I think Free is a good choice. I think it's definitely a good choice.
That's about our swimming boys, because we're in desperate need for content, man.
It's another pretty boy anime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a lot of fan service.
It does.
So, you know, if you guys want to talk pretty boys and fan service, then we'll definitely be talking about that in the next episode.
Talk about bonds and friendships and the boyfriend.
The quote-unquote boyfriends.
Yes.
Don't you mean the bros?
Oh, jeez.
We'll talk about that in the next episode. So we'll probably be doing Free in the next episode. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you do like this, please go ahead and give our video a like, subscribe. We do talk about, you know, not just pretty boys in general, but like all kinds of things. Or at least we try to. We talk about anime, movies, dramas, video games. We try to cover the whole thing. And if you're listening on any other streaming podcast platform, thank you very much for enjoying. And if you want to go ahead and submit questions to us, you can always reply to any of our tweets on Twitter on our podcast accounts. Or you can also maybe suggest something we should talk about. Maybe one of these days we'll do like a viewer requested episode or something. I think that would be fun. Just please be nice to us for the first viewer requested episode if we ever do one.
Yes.
Please, I don't want to have to watch something cursed. At least not for the first time. But yeah, just, you know, leave some comments down below if you've seen the K-drama version of Boys Over Flowers and, you know, what your thoughts about it are. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you prefer the original version, or maybe you prefer one of the other various different versions of the story? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to share this as well. And of course, all of our links are in the description, so you can follow us each individually on Twitter, or subscribe to our YouTube channels. Chantal and I each have a YouTube channel of our own, so, you know, we make similar kinds of videos to this, plus, you know, other things, you know, unboxings and all that good stuff, vlogs, whatever. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we can get that cranked out a little bit faster. It's just, you know, the new year started. Some of us have had, you know, kind of personal health issues, which is, like, totally understandable. But we do want to try to, you know, get these episodes out to you guys, because we like doing it. You know, we like discussing these different things with each other and roasting each other and, you know, laughing and all that shit. So, but thank you for joining me, Chantal, once again, as a co-host for today. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.